Welcome to Retirement Millionaire Daily's weekly update, where we answer questions from readers like you. This week, we're tackling the topic of stress. That's because this time of year is full of all kinds of stressors. In fact, on average, Americans are more stressed than ever. In the 2016 Stress in America report, we saw a spike for the first time in 10 years, where Americans are reporting more stress from things like the economy and even the state of the nation. Now, this time of year, around the holidays, it's even more stressful. That's because you're facing things like work stress from end-of-year projects, as well as family stress from planning for the holidays. Now, all of this stress is actually killing us. This time of year also happens to be when we see the greatest number of deaths across the country. And a lot of that we think is attributable to the amount of stress. That's because we know stress increases inflammation, which triggers heart disease, and heart disease is the #1 killer in the US. Now, the other thing it does is stress lowers your immune system. That leaves you vulnerable to a lot of diseases, including the flu, which can be deadly for the elderly. In fact, we've even seen in a new imaging study from Massachusetts General Hospital that there's a direct link between the amygdala in your brain and inflammation. The amygdala is the fear center. This is where you register stress and outside threats. What they saw was that when your amygdala lights up because you're more stressed, you actually get an increase in inflammation and a higher heart attack risk. Now, given all of these things and the fact that the holidays are now upon us, we wanted to take today to go through 3 tips to help you lower your stress levels during this time. Now, our first tip involves sunshine. Getting out and getting enough sunshine can really help both regulate your sleep cycles as well as lower your stress levels. A lot of people this time of year might experience seasonal affective disorder. That's when you start feeling depressed and have symptoms of major depression because you're not getting enough sunlight. So what we recommend is either getting a sun lamp or making sure that you go outside as often as you can. Usually around midday is the best time to do that. Our second tip is walking. This might seem simple, but getting exercise not only releases endorphins, which help fight stress levels, but also boosts your immune system. So if you can go for a walk, especially at midday, you can get both your exercise and your sunlight at the same time. Now, our third tip is to get out there and be social. And this might seem a little strange considering that your family can often be a source of stress. But really, socializing can help fight negative stress. That's why we've seen for folks who feel isolated and alone, especially around the holidays, they actually have an increased risk of death and higher stress levels. So if you find yourself maybe feeling alone or sad this holiday season, try to get out there and volunteer or join a special interest group. In fact, a great thing to do is to go visit folks who might be in a long-term care facility, because they often suffer from a lot of loneliness and isolation this time of year. Those are the 3 tips we're recommending today, but Doc still has 2 more tips that he recommends, which we just wrote about in our Retirement Millionaire monthly issue. If you'd like to get a copy and you're already a subscriber, there's a link below for you. And if you are not yet a subscriber to Retirement Millionaire, you can get started today. We have all the information you need in the description below. That's it for now. Keep sending us your comments and questions. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.